meeting minutes from November 6th. Chief, it looks like you were not present for that.
Yeah, was I not here for that?
Let me go back and look, because you may have been, and I just messed up the minutes.
I'm just trying to see who.
I actually think we only had.
I say you may not have been because it's the colonel and the sheriff that moved
I don't
and
think you were
seconded
there,
everything.
Travis.
Yeah, I might not have been here, Lindsay. All my meetings meshed together now, so.
I understand that fully.
Probably better than the rest of us.
No, no. Right there.
I did review the meeting minutes prior to this meeting and to make a motion to approve them if you are so inclined, Madam Chair.
That would be fantastic. I appreciate it. I don't know. Lindsay, can the chief make a motion to second that and then just abstain from the vote?
You can yeah, and then just make sure you abstain. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Perfect. And all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Any abstentions? Raise your hand or say aye.
Yep.
Get that. Thank you for getting that out. It looks like we have a long list.
We do.
Ooh, we voted on Jenna Reed last meeting.
Oh. Then disregard.
So we don't need to vote on her again.
No, just the other one.
Yep.
Did I include
We'll
that
count
again?
that as we'll count that as the addition or deletion.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask about.
Well, you included her, but that's also she's not written down as approved on the main sheet. So
Nope, she sure isn't. Okay, I'm gonna do that right now.
Is that the only?
There's one more. That was a red.
yeah, there's 3 level 2 deputies.
Washington County
from one department. Yeah.
And sounds like they just do not
Only
traffic
part.
enforcement.
Let's get back.
Yeah, court security, prisoner transport, and traffic control only.
Do we have? All right, and we don't need anything extra from them because we have their job duties written out like we did with all the others, right? We only got extra paperwork before because we were trying to figure out what job duties were.
Right.
Yeah. All right. If Lindsay, you're good. If someone wants to make a motion for the 3 new Washington County Sheriff's deputies for the indefinite A-ride waiver.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, moved, seconded. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we don't have anybody left to abstain or object. So you'll update Jenna and then add these 3 new folks.
That is updated now. I'll notify them today.
Perfect. As OOJ. Just trying to see.
Need more screens.
Yeah. Portable today and it's not functional. Oh, that's John. Right, so we have some out-of-state. Oh, you want to do requirement discussions?
So, there's a couple instructor certification waivers.
Yeah, I'm seeing the agendas are a little different. Sorry.
Sorry. How did I word them? Oh,
Lindsay,
yeah.
folks may be reading this. Have you had a waiver request like the one that comes in for, was that Windsor or whomever that was?
The use of force one?
Yeah, where it's like, we'd like you to square him away, so all the people who took the training he put on are squared away.
Basically, I got additional information too. He sent me the roster on the training that they did and what they had done, but, so a couple things around that. Hopefully Acatus will solve some of this as it progresses and people are able to monitor their certifications a bit easier than previously. But yes, we do have frequently people who do not attend the recert, miss it. We don't offer that many anyway, but they miss that, and then by the time they realize it, they're running up on a lapse. So then the people that they trained within their department are no longer valid, and they don't realize it until it comes time to submit their recert again. So, this one, is this the one you're talking about, Spencer Fouché?
Yeah.
Yes, so his reasoning for not attending the recert at the time in question, he was not aware of any scheduled recert day and time that he was expected to attend, and didn't receive notice of a specific date time and did not observe it on our website. He is available to attend the next recert offering and will coordinate scheduling through chain of command if the waiver is permitted. If the waiver were not permitted, they would have to redo the annual training, and he would have to remain certified, he'd have to reattend the instructor school.
Well, he's almost a year expired, right?
Correct.
And how many trainings were offered for that?
I have to go back and look. I can't remember. I know one at a minimum because it happened with the transition with, we just did another one this year, but with Nick doing it, we didn't do many.
And Lindsay, those instructor recerts are only done at the academy. It's not like another instructor can do those, right?
Correct. Let me just see if I can
Do
pull
we-
up the training.
Lindsay, do we know what the current availability of use of force instructors in the state are? And I'm assuming it's the trainer instructors who have to do the research. Like how accessible is this?
So that is changing in the future, but it is difficult because to create new instructors, like use of force has different levels of certification. So one level can train another level, the master level can train all the levels. We have in-house again, so prior to Nick Stewart became a senior instructor, which meant he could provide classes. We now have Adam going through the same thing. We do have senior instructors throughout the state, but again, it comes down to availability. So we are trying to, with hopefully Acatus and then increased availability for instructor courses, will make it more accessible, but it is difficult. I know for agencies and officers, it gets towards the end of the year and there's nothing available when they realize that something's happening or they think that everything's okay. Some of it is on their part, some of it is on our part, so.
So the goal is that we give him a waiver for to extend his instructor certification. And then that sort of somehow has to then retro into the certifications or the annual trainings that he did for the agency.
Right, so the request would be that instead of losing his certification and starting over, that he would get a waiver for this period, and then the next recert he attends would keep his certification valid instead of having that lapse period.
Yeah, I mean, I would submit that a year's amount of time is a perishable set of skills, but at the same time, a year's amount of time, it's not hard to recover the skills, especially to the context of that's what we expect all Vermont law enforcement to do each year, is to recover the skills in a single training. Right or wrong, that's what our practice as a state is.
Yeah.
And so with that, to say, let's have the person go through approximately a week-long training to be able to teach again, the council's perspective has been, are they competent and capable to deliver the level of practice that they have? And at an instructor level, can they teach someone? So I don't know what other people's feelings on it are. I would encourage that we say, let's not require going to a week-long school, which then is just a discouragement. And usually we see instructors bail when we're already in a state where there's not enough instructors to support the needs. Or I shouldn't say not to support, but already in a pinch for having instructors available when we need them. There's not a plethora. And then we determine what mitigations are appropriate and necessary until they do the research, because it's also a high risk, high liability area. And so we don't want them to improperly teach a technique that then is replicated out. We also don't want them to break someone's arm. So maybe we say, we'll grant the waiver, but you can't teach any classes until you complete that school. We might say, you need to go demonstrate to mega master instructor, whoever, that you can do the techniques and demonstrate the techniques. And it was no different than a skills-based techniques that we would have a person go complete with one of the designated instructors, but that is in an expectation of teaching, not in an expectation of performing. So I don't know if that's a realistic thing to say, can a master instructor sign off on that or whatever, but I think that there's ways that we could approach it that don't require sending someone to a school that they might just say, I did it for 5 years, I'm out, I'm not doing that again.
Right. And looking at the roster, they did it in January of 25, right? So he essentially would have expired. And so the issue
A
is,
couple weeks later.
It-
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't have any issue with that, but I agree. If you're going to be an instructor, especially for a high liability training, you got to be a little bit better organized and can't go like, I don't know, I need to get notified about it, regardless of what system the academy uses, right? Like be an adult and keep track of your stuff.
Building on that, we've got a waiver from someone who sent the waiver before they even expired because they know they can't take the class. So, like, yeah, I completely understand and agree with what Sheriff Anderson said, but it's just at the same time, like, want to smack the dude and be like, wake up.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. And it's like, I mean, I have 2 use of force instructors here at the PD, so they know that they have to sign up to get their research for an instructor, right? Like, you have to do that. But at the same token, it sounds like the class was done very well according to the sergeant. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I would agree. There's got to be a stipulation that he can't teach anything until he gets his research done.
Do we know when the research will be?
No, that's being organized now. I'd love to be able to say until this date, but I don't have that yet.
So I'm not making this motion, but I'm floating the idea of a motion that we approve the waiver with the upon successful completion of the in-service training or research training, I guess is the better thing. And then that would leave them in limbo until the research training, and then we don't have to be date specific when it needs to be accomplished, acknowledging there is some duty for the training to be made available, but there's not a duty for it. I think that there should also probably be a tail end to that, which is kind of why I'm building this into that format. There should be a tail end to that, because let's say that they miss the next 3 years and they say, I still have a waiver. That seems kind of dumb too.
I was just going to say, I think the waiver ought to say that it's granted until only until the end of the next recertification class, whenever that might be, so that it can't, if he misses that one, then too bad on him.
But then there's also a thing like, yeah, too bad on him. He gets noticed that he's getting deployed with the Army. Well, that's a protected leave. So maybe not too bad for him, and that would potentially be we start getting
could
into weird
revisit
sections
it.
of law.
Yeah.
So,
I'm curious,
like,
so would he still be, so, I mean, regardless of whether it's a protected issue or not, he's already a year behind. So if we
So-
say, I'm just curious, but to your point, no, I mean, and I think that's a legitimate point, but to your point, if we said you have a waiver until, here's a waiver saying your certificate, your cert is good until you can take the next recertification class, and it expires at the end of that class. If he were to, whatever, break his leg or whatever the issue might be, would that then null and void that because he can't do, like, it should be null and void because he's being a knucklehead and not waiting a year to ask for this.
So that's where I also ponder the question of, does it make sense to say, like, as a course of process, go take the recert and then file for the waiver?
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Well,
Like,
doesn't that hook up everybody though that's taking this in January that needs this 4-hour block for the year?
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
That's I'm thinking like we grant the waiver and it's up to him to get it done. And if we're in this same situation next year, where you're like, no, like you had a chance to take this class over the year, like it's gonna be offered at some point, like take it. I think it's cleaner if we just say, yes, we'll extend the waiver to whatever, and maybe not put the language around like it has to be the next class because of all those reasons you guys just said.
So almost
Well, in
grant
theory,
like a provisional.
it's a 1-year waiver though, right? So if he doesn't get something done in 2026, he has to reapply for that waiver.
Yes.
But I do like the provision that he's not permitted to instruct until he can get
Yes.
a class in, so liability for him, for his department, for law enforcement, and maybe that helps expedite him get into it sooner.
Yeah, I mean, especially if there's a technique that was trained that is then, this is a high risk technique, like chokeholds at one point were a training item of some curricula that are no longer permitted in Vermont law. If he missed that update, and that's just one I can call out because I know it's in law, well, what risk are we having if they were training the curriculum that's not actually the curriculum? So yeah, I don't know how to form that all into a motion, but I will make that motion.
Right. So I'm wondering if it's something along the lines of, are they going to submit actual paperwork for this waiver, or is the email going to be sufficient?
Yes, so just because the new system changeover, it's not really paper anymore, so
Okay.
the request as is, I'll basically be tracking on my end.
Okay.
I'll put that certification set to expire at end of 26. The email will go out with the stipulation that the class has to be completed the next class. And then no instruction until that class is completed. No
Right. I
later
would say
than
the
end of 26.
stipulations that he's got to complete a class within 2026, and not permitted to conduct any instruction until that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say if someone wants to make a motion along the lines of that language, I think we'd be good.
Looks like Mark is typing a motion.
It's a formal class called instructor recert.
Yes.
And we're administering that class by who? BCJC instructor.
Yep.
But I make that motion with the name of where it says XXX. And I will read it. I move to approve a waiver for the trainee, instructor, whatever, the person, with the stipulation that the class needs to be completed during calendar year 26, and they cannot instruct a use of force class until the completion of the use of force instructor recertification administered by a VCJC approved instructor.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your hand. Say aye.
Hey.
Aye.
Nobody left to oppose or object. It's through. That was a good chat.
I think based on that chat, I'll make a motion to accept the next waiver for use of force instructor.
Carte
Is that
blanche.
Williger?
What's that?
I just said carte blanche
Yeah, yeah, just
with
Well,
no requirements.
no. I mean, the reason I'm saying that is because the one guy waited till almost his year expired. This other one sent it a month before his expiration in anticipation of the fact that he can't get a class done. So I think I would make basically a similar waiver, although I would be curious to see if anybody else objects to someone in this particular. I don't know that we need a do not instruct mandate in this one, but just they'll have an extension to get the training in 2026 would be my.
Yeah, I'd be fine
Oh.
with that. Yep. I would have no concerns about instructions because they are still currently certified and just looking to extend to get into good graces. So anybody have different thoughts?
I'll make a motion to accept the waiver for, is it Williger?
Yep.
Yeah, Brett Williger for a 1-year extension for use of force MDTS/OC instructor.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Right.
It's gone through, Lindsay. Waiver for TAC.
I make the motion that we give TAC a waiver. Withdrawn.
Yeah, so I attached 3 documents, the waiver kind of summary that went to TAC, what New Hampshire does for their reciprocity, and then the reciprocity booklet available through I add a list of what every state does. Just to help inform that conversation with TAC or to get ideas.
Lindsay, was this supposed to be part of your meeting yesterday? This paperwork, or is it
Yes,
something
part
else?
of TAC. They had asked for like a review of the process and any other information. So that's kind of where we are.
Gotcha.
So there's really nothing that we're doing with this. This is more just an FYI.
That's an FYI. And if you want to have further discussion around anything that you like, don't like, potential discussion points for TAC,
I feel like I'd need more time to review that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anybody had the Cliff Note version of this,
And Lindsay, we don't know when their next meeting will be yet, right? They're clicky clacky.
not yet. Not yet. And I don't know what sort of information they'll want after reviewing this or looking at that.
Right.
But just so you know, that was what was sent.
Okay.
And
All right. So maybe let's give us, I know you sent it before this meeting, but maybe give
I'm
us
with
a
you.
chance
I'm with you.
to get it reviewed.
Absolutely.
Before our next meeting, because again, it's not like the ship is gonna turn around right away anyway. So
Yeah. I would be surprised if something happened before the first of the year.
wow, yeah, yeah.
Sounds so far away, and yet
I know.
Yeah.
Yet
I don't think that's happening, Lindsay.
I know. Totally not.
there's no way this is happening until next year.
But while we're looking at next year, so obviously our next meeting is scheduled for the 1st. At least that's what I have on my calendar, unless I messed it up.
No, you
Nope,
did not.
you are
And,
Okay.
The 1st of January?
Yeah, I think that's just
Yes.
how it fell in terms of like the first Thursday or something.
I make
Right,
a
it's the
motion
first
to
Thursday
get
of the
rid of
month.
that.
I actually, you know what? I make a motion to move it up by 2 hours so we can all show up hungover and see how that goes.
That'd be great.
I
I'm
want to see anybody
wondering-
get a waiver for anything that day.
Denied.
I make a motion to waive anything.
Just waive it all.
Wave it all. I was thinking
Um,
maybe the 8th if everyone is available same time.
That's what I'm wondering. Can we bump it back a week? I can do it. I have a meeting in the morning right now, but
I can do it.
it won't interfere with a 2 o'clock.
Say the 8th, I'm good.
8th, you're good, okay. And just as part of your closeout, new year, things to discuss, potentially revote or reaffirm, meeting schedule, chair, or vice chair. And I can't remember, did we ever vote for a vice chair? It's just you, isn't it, Aaron? Oh, no, Justin, you're vice
I
chair.
thought I
Just kidding.
thought the good colonel was be my
Yeah,
number
yeah, you're vice
2.
chair. Yep,
We can make
so it
him
could just
number
be a
1.
reaffirmation.
No. I prefer to be referred to as number 2.
Number 2. Also, before we do that, so I have issues and I try to send stuff to Chief Polway. It gets kicked back a lot.
Yeah.
That's so funny you said that. If you reply, it seems to get so let me rephrase it. I replied to an email from him and it got kicked back, but when I just created a new email and sent it, it went fine. And I don't understand what the difference is.
I think they changed their domains.
They did, here I'm gonna put in,
Because I'm thinking when I sent the email to you guys about joining the tech, I think I had to type it in. Like, I think I forwarded it. So it was like creating a new email and that was okay. Yeah. But then I tried to respond to him from that and it kicked back to me.
That's exactly, I had the same issue. It happened. I was talking with him last week and it was the same thing. I sent him an email, went through fine. He responded. I responded to him and it got kicked back and he didn't get my response. So then I just started a new email and sent it and it went.
What I'm wondering is if they have set up some sort of mail routing rules and I'm making stuff up and this just sounds nerdy and
Words.
Anyway, words. If they are doing something from the ledge.vt.us domain, which is their old email address, to the vtledge.gov domain, they also had first initial last name and now their first name dot last name. So like there's stuff that they have all changed, and I'm wondering if legislative IT is starting to do magic to make sure people get things, which then you might be getting things kicked back because they have forwarding and notices and heads ups and whatever.
Sounds awful.
Yes.
Sounds awful.
But it's not as awful as me sending about 20,000 calendar invites.
Yeah, that was fantastic. You did confuse me very thoroughly.
Aren't they like past date too? I'm like, isn't this?
Yeah.
happening?
Oh yeah, by the way, good sheriff, did you notice you sent out the email? Did you see the responses to your email about the rule meeting tomorrow?
No.
Because you said it, well, I'll see y'all at 1:30 today.
everybody was like, it's tomorrow.
But you never responded to anybody saying, isn't it tomorrow?
I schedule sent that, and I thought I picked Friday.
No.
Oops.
That's awesome.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
That's
it was, you
awesome.
said today's meeting at 1:30.
Yeah, that was schedule sent, I thought.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it's all good.
So do we have to take actual action on something, Lindsay?
No,
Or
if you
We're good with
feel as
meeting
if,
dates.
yep, if everybody feels that you're all set, we'll just maintain as is.
Gotta love a good status quo from time to time.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
All right.
indeed.
Anybody have general discussion? Anything they want to talk about?
No, but Lindsay, do you have like 2 minutes to hang on after we conclude?
I do.
Awesome. I just, and it's not secret. I had a question about Acatus, so I just want to ask you about
Oh, absolutely.
Just make sure you stop the recording.
Yes, I'll wait.
I absolutely will.
Aaron, do you want me to call you after this? Is that a good time?
Yeah, that actually would work quite well.
Okay. Travis, if you want to find someone else to call,
Yeah, I'll call John. I'll call John. I'll call
Hey,
John.
I'm
He won't answer
inviting
his phone.
everybody to my
There you go.
conversation. It's fine.
Oh, now the invite.
Actually, no,
I
you
mean,
know
if you
what?
guys want
I'm
to
just
come to my
inviting-
party, that's fine.
I'm just inviting Travis. You two can go do your own thing. It's just Travis, me, and Lindsay. So bye-bye.
I mean, to be fair, I called him earlier and he was like, I'm far too busy for you in another meeting. I'll call you later.
and then I showed up late.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. You guys are the best. Thank you for a good year. Have wonderful, wonderful holidays. Please be
You as
safe.
well. Absolutely.
So if
Thank
someone
you.
wants to make a motion, we'll get
So
everybody
moved.
out of here. Move seconded. All in favor, say aye. Raise your hand. Be safe,
Take
everybody.
care, all.
See y'all.
Yeah,
Happy
you too.
holidays.
Take care.
Yeah.
Lindsay, real quick, so you mentioned something about people will be able to track their certifications better.